Ford Ranger. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove the headlights and change the bulbs on a 2007 Ford Ranger. This is one of the easiest ways to make your aging truck look refreshed and new for years to come. Also, be sure to like and subscribe if you do want to see more of these Ford Ranger videos. I will be making a few more in this mini series for this Ranger on how to restore it without breaking your bank and making it look way more refreshed to enjoy for years to come. These are the new lights I purchased for the Ford Ranger. I believe I bought these on Amazon or eBay. I'll link them in the description, but this is a very quick way to make your truck look much newer. The reason I removed these headlights over a year later is because these are the OEM bulbs here, which are the Sylvania HP5 9007 bulbs. These new headlight units came with their own bulbs, so I figured I'd replace the OEM bulbs. However, the bulbs that came with this aftermarket headlight unit aren't that bright, so I'm going to be reinstalling these Sylvania OEM bulbs. Do keep in mind, if you're handling bulbs, make sure not to touch the bulb. The oils on your finger, if you do touch the bulb, will bubble up with the heat when these are running, and this could cause the bulb to crack. So notice here, I'm handling from the base, so it's not a problem. But if you do want to handle them a bit more closely, make sure to put some silicone rubber gloves on, so that way you're not putting oils, transferring those oils onto the bulb. Let's take a look at the rear of this headlight unit. Here's the power connection. Here we're going to slide the bulb in, and then there is a clamp that twists, and that's on the bulb itself. Then here we're going to have these 3 points that are going to slide into the truck frame. Let's go take a closer look. Here's point 1, there's point 2, and then there is point 3. Looking closer, here's the power connection. I think I snapped this off when I was taking it off. And then here's that ring that you're going to twist when you do insert this into the headlight unit. And then here's the bulb that came with those headlights. I'm going to remove it. I'm sure it works fine, but I want to make sure I'm running OEM just to make sure that I'm getting the brightest possible OEM style. The process to remove the headlight is incredibly simple. We start by walking up to the truck, open the hood, and we are going to see these 2 latches, one here and one here. There it is. And what we want to do is pull up, and this is going to snap like that. And then same on this side. And we're going to hear that snap. From there, we want to pull the headlight unit outward. Here's the top view. I'm going to just give you a close-up. Not the best because it's a little darker, but that is the latch we want to pull outward. So it might get a little caught, so just dance with the headlight, wiggle it a bit. And then on this inner side, we do have these 2 arms that are going to be pulled out. We see the other one down there. You can't really see it too well, but you do see it back there in the foreground. So on the inside, closer to the grill, we do have these rubber pieces. On the outer side of the headlights, we do have these 2 pieces that I'm talking about there. Okay, here we have the headlight released with this inner metal latch. If it's not releasing easily, just make sure to wiggle this up and down because it can be lodged in this white piece here. So you just want to make sure it unfastens, and then you should be able to pull this out quite easily. So seeing here on this connector, we're going to twist counterclockwise and then pull outward. That releases the bulb. And then here we have the power connector. Just wiggle this out. And that's going to unfasten the orange parking bulb. Looking at this in 2 ways, if you want to leave this orange parking light in the housing, you can just unfasten from this base. If you want to remove the entire bulb from the headlight unit, you want to twist to your right. If we're looking from the top, you want to twist to your right, and you can pull this outward. The 2 new headlights that I purchased also do come with these side markers. Looking here on the inside, I believe these are 6mm bolts, but you just unfasten these quite simply, and then you're going to have the power connection there. These bolts should be the same size as the ones here for the grill. To remove the bulb, we want to lift up on this tab here and pull outward. Without touching the bulb, again, I don't plan on using these, but it doesn't hurt to have them as a spare. I'm going to slide this ring off, and I'm going to slide it on the OEM bulb that I originally had. And we're going to see there how it aligns. And then I'm going to reattach it without touching that bulb. And again, if you want to exercise more caution, you can use latex gloves of some sort or some rubber gloves. Here we're going to see it fastened. There we go. Now this is ready to reinsert into the headlight assembly. Another way to reinstall this is to remove the bulbs from the connections, insert them into the housing, and then fasten the connections once they are in this headlight assembly. Align it with the slots, and then we're going to twist it to our left from the top. Next, with our main bulb, we want to make sure it's nice and aligned, and then this plastic ring we're going to turn to our left if we're looking at this from the top. Now it's nice and secure there. The next step I want to do is these three arms, I want to slide them through their respective openings, and keep in mind these are adjustable, so if they're not going in, just adjust it a bit to align it to push through. And sometimes these metal latches might fall down, so just make sure to pull it up so that it's not getting in the way. Just give it a little, and just give this a nice little wiggle to get this situated. If you are getting some wobble in your headlight, you need that black piece to go through and come out through the back for this to latch down when you push down. Otherwise, it's going to be somewhat loose and be wobbling like such. And here's the alternative way. If you want to insert the bulbs into the housing prior to connecting everything, you could do it this way as well. I'm just going to insert and then quarter twist to the right. Now it's securely fastened for the parking light. To give you a better look, I'm going to slide the bulb in first, and you're going to see this O-ring seat in here nice and securely. And then I can come with this ring and put it over, and then twist it to the right. Now it's nice and secure, and the connections are in their proper, easy connection points. Now we're going to connect the parking light and the main bulb. And then we're going to guide it through. If these come off in the back of the frame here, there are little rails where this can just realign and attach. So I'll just slide that back down. And then as you can see there's no need to force it. Just make sure these three arms are properly aligning, and then just wiggle it back into place. The inner latch to lock in place. Here's a closer look of what we want the latch to do. We want it to bite onto that arm and secure this rubber piece. So this latch is holding that down, and as a result, it's nice and stable. Whereas this driver's side is still wobbly. And upon closer look, what's happening here, if this is still wobbly, that excess metal is starting to push into the frame, which does not allow that rubber piece to fully pass through. So what I'm doing is with my hand, I'm pushing the headlight in more, and then I'm slightly pulling back on this metal piece here, which gives me just enough space. You can see there, it gives me just enough space to push down and really leverage this piece. So now it's nice and secure. In this video, I'm not going to go into detail on how to align your headlight beam. I don't think I'm qualified for that. For a simple alignment of your bulbs, however, and again, this is completely amateur, but you drive up to a wall, maybe 20-25 feet, you're going to be adjusting this slowly but surely with the screwdriver on both sides. When I did install these new aftermarket headlights originally, the beam was way too low on the floor, so I had to drive up to a random wall and align these so I could illuminate the road much better. In short, make sure when you do install your headlights, drive up to a wall at your earliest convenience, and make sure that that beam and that line across the wall of your light is not too low or too high, because you can irritate people and perhaps be a risk on the road as well for others. Okay, now the bulbs are in and the headlights are installed. Ideally, you want to do this before you clamp everything back together, so you don't have to reassemble it. There we should have our parking lights. There we should have our regular headlights. And then here are the high beams. So everything appears to be working. Nice. Awesome. So if you are doing this, at most you need a Phillips screwdriver, and if you are changing the side markers, you may need a 6mm little socket or wrench. All that's left to do is just make sure you didn't leave the other bulbs or any tools along the engine bay, and then we can close this hood. All right, everyone, now we know how to replace the headlights on a 2007 Ford Ranger. Ford Ranger. If you did find this video helpful, do be sure to like and subscribe. I do have more videos on this Ford Ranger. With that said, have a great day, have a great evening, Striker out. Ford Ranger.